the American Civil War. Now, many people who have sticked around to this channel for a while know that I am very into the American Civil War. But there's something that I did not really go into that much. I had like 3 videos on it. And that is, a literal battle happened on my backyard. There was a Union artillery battery in my backyard. What was that for? Johnston's River Line. Now, I noticed that not many people talk about Johnston's River Line that much these days. Only Wikipedia has anything about it. And Wikipedia says, like, it was a thing, and then they leave. So I wanted to go deeper into it. After July 4th, on the 4th of July, the Union soldiers pushed through Ruff's Mill and Smyrna. And Johnston decided to make a fortified line designed by Francis Asbury Shope and put it along the north side of the Chattahoochee River. This was called Johnston's River Line after General Joseph E. Johnston, who allowed this to actually happen. And it was a work of art. The most notable fort in it was none other than a stockade. There were 36 constructed. Sadly, only 9 remain. Most of them on private property and most of them damaged. There are only a few that are actually on public property. One is in the park that I'm currently in, Discovery Park at the River Line. One is at River Line Park, and 2 are at Stockade Park. Now, these forts were called stockades, as the name suggests. The name of the park suggests, and they were named after Sir Francis Asbury Shope, who designed them. They were diamond-shaped in design, and they looked like arrowheads pointing straight towards the enemy. This was a formidable line, and it had some genius to it too. It had a zigzag pattern. It would start with a stockade, go down to an artillery emplacement. An artillery emplacement, or redan, would have 2 or 1 guns. There's only 1 actually surviving for the Johnston's River Line. That's sad. It's in Stockade Park. It goes up, stockade, artillery redan, stockade, artillery redan. Now, this was very smart. If the full force of the Union Army attacked that, then they would have to get in, and they would be subjected to rifle fire and cannon fire from all positions. But there was one problem. The Johnston's River Line was only spread out for a limited area, and Johnston had anticipated that Sherman would use the same tactics that he used at the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain. But that's not exactly what actually happened. Instead, Sherman remembered that, nearly all of his army died, that's an exaggeration by the way, at Kennesaw Mountain because of a frontal assault. So he decided to go around the left. They went around the left near Island Ford and Chattahoochee River. There's a nice story about them crossing with Spencers. And there were sinkholes, and then they would fall in and climb back up, but the guns were still operational. So the Confederates expected them not to be unable to fire back, but they were able to fire back. That's a very nice story. If you actually go visit the visitor center and ask about it, they'll say that one of the crossings happened right in front of the visitor center there at the Chattahoochee River. So, on July 9th, 1864, Johnston's River Line was abandoned. Before Mableton and Smyrna became that much of a developed city, somebody can walk the entire Johnston's River Line and see every single thing that was there. There were many witness trees, and all the stockades and the artillery redans were there, and all the trenches, of course. But then, in recent years, greedy property owners, decided to destroy stockades. Out of the 36 stockades, only 9 remain. Many stockade owners destroyed the stockades because its historical value would interfere with their land ownership. A artillery redoubt was bulldozed to make for a shopping center's parking lot. And a stockade, the last stockade for now that was destroyed. A landowner who had made a deal with the National Park Service and the federal agencies like the National Archives. They made a deal that he would not destroy the actual stockade. In 2016, federal agents went into the private property and they saw that the man had ran away. And they found the stockade. Well, what was left of it? It was the most well-preserved stockade. The logs were actually still there. He had destroyed it all. And there, he made a small parking lot for his visitors. There's still many stockades on private property. So those who own a stockade in their private property, please do not destroy them. They are historical. They have historical value. Soldiers who risked their lives were in it. They defended it with their lives. And if you break it down, well, I'll tell you, the ghosts are going to go get you. But, luckily, if you live in the Atlanta area and would like to visit a stockade, there are 3 options. You could go to Johnston's Discovery Park at Riverline, like where I am right now. Riverline Park, which is nearby, who have 1 stockade, which is very well preserved, and Stockade Park, which has 2 stockades and 1 lasting artillery redoubt. Johnston's Riverline is very amazing and was probably the biggest and best fortified line in the American Civil War. So it is important that we should protect it with all we can. And we should remember what they did and the historical value that it has. And if you live in the area, you should go see the map on the preservation of Johnston's Riverline, a map that shows all the Union and Confederate earthworks in Johnston's Riverline. That is how I found out that there was an artillery battery in my backyard. Not to make you feel bad or anything, but you should go check that out and you'll learn every single position that they had. But for now, I'll see you next time.